Relations that exist between the Filipinos and the Americans, and it is his hope that they continue. He also calls me a few names. General Aguinaldo has become a household word the world over. A great general, a great statesman, and a great man. He has been the means, in a measure, to allow the United States to establish peace and maintain prosperity on these islands.
Good day everyone. So for this video, we are going to present our content and contextual analysis with a chosen topic, which is the mga gunita ng himagsikan. First off, I am going to introduce myself. I am Leah Carla de Guignon from BSED 2I2. So let us know the author or the background of the author. Emilio Aguinaldo was a politician, a fighter, a leader, and the first president of the Philippines. Emilio Aguinaldo was a writer, a dependable writer, or an author who lived for 94 years and died due to his coronary thrombosis. He has done a lot of accomplishments at his young age. When he was 17 years old, he became the Kameza de Barangay of Binakayan. At the age of 25, he became the Cavite Vihos first Gobernadorcillo Capitan Municipal. He joined the Katipunan and fought many battles in the history of colonization of our country. The background of the mga gunita ng himagsikan. Between in the year of 1928 and 1946, Aguinaldo wrote his initial Tagalog memoir in his own handwriting. After the deliberation, Aguinaldo agreed to write his own memoir in 1967 at the end of the 1963. This document happened during the period of Philippine Revolution against Spain and the Philippine and American War. The memoir of Aguinaldo begins with his birth, continues with his early life, and ends with his involvement in the revolution. Around 1928 and 1946, Aguinaldo scribbled a lot in his old age, producing the first volume of his memoir, which is the document entitled Mga Gunita ng Himagsikan of 1964, translated originally from Tagalog as Memoirs of Revolution. The memoirs were based on the diary Aguinaldo kept, documents he saved, and the family lore I gathered from his elders according to his preface. Emilio Aguinaldo claimed that the event occurred in Balintawak. The late historian named Theodore A. Agoncillo took Pio Valenzuela's word for it and argued for Pagadliwan. Apart from these two candidates, we have Kangkong, Bahay Turo, Pasong Tamo, Pakpaklawin, and if we will believe in comics, Pugad Baboy. Therefore, this document showed the importance in our Philippine history. As a result, examining all angles of historian proof aids in determining which event is true. For historians, the mga gunita ng himagsikan may include clues or hints.
And hi, Miss. I am Nicolene Derder, and I am assigned to the content presentation and analysis of the important historical information. So, for about 30 years ago, the earliest inhabitants had arrived from the Asian mainland. The early inhabitants of the Philippines were Mongoloid descent, which are predominant today. The Philippines were claimed in the name of Spain in 1521 by Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer sailing from Spain. And the government of Spain developed Filipino agriculture to the point that it was self-sufficient. And after some attempts at independence and an equal number of atrocities on the part of Spain, Filipino nationalists began to speak out. During April 1898, when the Philippines was still a colony of the Spanish East Indies, and concluded when the United States formally recognized the independence of the Republic of the Philippines on July 4, 1946. First one is the contribution to the grand narrative of Philippine history. This concept will help us to understand the deeper meaning of Philippine history. And the second one is the Aguinaldo's Memoirs. It provides the basis for corroboration of other historical sources so that we can search for the meanings of the documents or the Philippine history documents. And here are some Philippine history debunked. The first shot of the Philippine-America War didn't happen on a bridge. The first shot of Philippine-American War was fired on San Juan Bridge. But in reality, as taught to us so many times during our history class, the first shot which started the Philippine-American War was supposed to have taken place on San Juan Bridge. However, it actually happened on Sosiego Street in Santa Mesa. In fact, the marker has since been moved by the National Historical Institute to a corner of Sosiego and Silencio Streets. And the entire war was started by an Englishman. Yes, it is Private William Grayson. The man who fired the first shot was a full-blooded Anglo who later immigrated to Nebraska with his parents when he was still a child. And the other Philippine history debunk is those who attended the Tejeros Convention were Magdiwang and not Magdalo. I learned a new information about how past societies, systems, ideologies, governments, cultures, and technologies were built for the past history, and how they are operated and how they are changed. And also, I have learned that we can develop our knowledge of the history. And also, it means developing your knowledge of all these different aspects of life can help you to learn more about the past or about the history of the Philippines.
Good day everyone, I'm Giselle Maridan from Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, second year, section I2. So now, I'm going to discuss on how relevant the Gunita ng Himagsikan in reconstructing the past of the Filipino. The work of Emilio Aguinaldo, which is the Gunita ng Himagsikan, is considered as important to the amazing story of the Philippine history, since it does not only contain the journal of Emilio Aguinaldo, but also contains the data around our history, such as information about our Filipino ancestors. So also, it appears how the individuals of our nation had passionately battled back against the Spaniards in a range to gain our freedom. The record of Gunita ng Himagsikan would also give the individuals a thought what is the significance of knowing all the things that happen within the Gunitang Himagsikan. So it is an attempt of Emilio Aguinaldo to wash his hands the tragic of Andres Bonifacio's passing away. Thus, it is a way of vindicating himself from negative slanders against him. It gives us an insight into the individual thoughts and feelings of Aguinaldo, which will help in a deeper understanding of Philippine history. The Gunita ng Himagsikan shows a huge impact in our society, especially in our economy, religious issue, political issue, Filipino youth, and more, because it informed us on how to be a great person, and there is no great living if we didn't show any hard work or willingness to work with. Our ancestors long time ago is our great influencer.
And that ends our video presentation for today. Thank you guys and God bless you all.